So just okay, we'll try to understand the concept of deadlock. Okay, so imagine, first of all, imagine that we are having set of processes. Okay, so whenever we are defining set of processes, then we can define in this way: p1, p2, p3 up to pn. Okay, so these are the set of processes which exist. Okay, and then if some process is holding any resource, if any process is holding any resource, then we can represent in this way. For example, this is the process p1 and this is the resource r1. Okay, so process p1 is having the resource r1. How we can represent? We can represent is with the arrow mark. Okay, so arrow mark is toward the process. Okay, so now we can see that this process is holding the resource r1. Okay, or the resource r1 is being held by the process p1. Okay, if we want the resource r2, okay, see, just I will imagine the second way, that is resource r2. If p1 is having a requirement, if p1 is having a requirement of r2, then it can be shown like this. Okay, so p1 is having the requirement of r2, but right now it is not having a control of resource r2. Okay, so we have to show the arrow mark towards the resource. Okay, so this is just a simple convention we need to understand first before understanding the deadlock. Okay, so this is the arrow, this is arrow which indicate that p1 hold the resource r1, and this arrow mark indicate that it has the requirement. Okay, so requirement. Okay, now you can clearly understand p1 is having a requirement of r2 and p1 is having the hold of resource r1. Okay, so this is the just a basic concept. Okay, now we'll try to understand the concept of deadlock. When a set of processes wait for some resources which are held by some other process within the set, this condition is called as deadlock. Okay, let us understand how this happens. Okay, so imagine this is the process p1. Okay, this is the process p2. Okay, p1 is having the resource, p1 is having the resource r1. Okay, so I will draw the r1 over here. Okay, so p1 is having resource r1. Okay, so p1 is having resource r1 and p2 is having resource r2. So p2 is having resource r2. Okay, now p1 has a requirement of r2, p1 has a requirement of r2 and p2 has a requirement of r1. Now the situation is like that p1 is having the hold of r1 and has a requirement of r2, p2 is holding r2 and have a requirement of r1. Okay, it will not release the r2, that is p2 will not release r2 until and unless it will gain the hold of r1. Okay, जब तक r1 मिलेगा नहीं तब तक ये r2 छोड़ेगा नहीं. And p1 hold the resource r1 and has a requirement of r2. Okay, so p1 r1 को रिलीज नहीं करेगा जब तक कि उसको r2 मिलेगा नहीं. ओके, सो सम काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशन जैसी जो आती है, इस सिचुएशन को हम लोग बोल सकते हैं कि ये सिचुएशन अब हो गई है डेड लॉक्स. ओके, so starting with the necessary and sufficient condition for deadlock to occur. Okay, so if we'll break any one of this condition, then deadlock will not occur. Okay, so let us see those four conditions first. The first condition is mutual exclusion. Mutual exclusion. Okay, so this is the concept we have seen in the earlier videos. The mutual exclusion is the condition which says only one process is allowed to enter into the critical section. Okay, according to the mutual exclusion, what is the concept? Only one process may use the resource at a time. Okay, it is the condition, it is the condition which says that only one process is allowed, only one process is allowed to enter into critical section. Okay, regarding critical section, we have already learned that this is a section where all the critical resources are kept. So this is the critical section and all the critical resources are kept. Like if you are having only one printer, if you are having only one printer, which is being shared among multiple processes, that is P1 and P2. Okay, so the resource which is shared among multiple processes, that is called the critical resource, and the critical resources are kept inside the critical section. Okay, so mutual exclusion is the condition which says that only one process is allowed into the critical section. So if both the process wants to use or access this printer, then first any one of the process, say P1 will go inside the critical section, will access this printer, then it will come out, and then process P2 will go. Okay, and then it will come out. Okay, and the remaining and any other process who wants to access this printer will enter into the critical section. So according to the mutual exclusion, it says that only one process is allowed inside the critical section region. Okay, and once a process has allocated a particular resource, it has exclusive use of the resource. No other process can use a resource while it is allocated to a process. So only one process is allowed to enter into the critical section. Okay, so this is the mutual exclusion condition. And now come to the second one. The second condition is hold and wait. Okay, the second condition is hold and wait. This is the second necessary and sufficient condition for deadlock to occur. Just now we have seen the situation where two processes are having two resources and they have some requirement also. Okay, first we'll understand the scenario. This is the process P1, this is the process P2. Okay, process P1, process P2. Now process P1 have a requirement. Okay, sorry, it has the resource R1. Okay, imagine we have two resources R1 and R2. So P1 is having this resource, that is R1. It is having resource R1, and R2 is being held by the process 2. Okay, so P1 के पास में R1 है, P2 के पास में R2 है. Okay, तो P1 ने R1 को होल्ड किया है, P2 ने R2 को होल्ड किया है. Okay, now the next is P1 is requiring the resource 2 and P2 is requiring the resource R1. Okay, so now just understand this situation. P1 is holding the resource R1, P1 is holding the resource R1 and waiting for R2 to be acquired. ओके, सो P1 क्या कर रहा है, P1 R1 को होल्ड किया है और R2 का रिक्वायरमेंट उसको है, यानी कि उसके लिए वेट कर रहा है. ठीक है, सो वेटिंग फॉर R2. ओके, सो P1 ने R1 को होल्ड किया है, P1 is holding the R1 and waiting for R2. So this is nothing but the hold and wait like situation. Here in the second process, that is process P2. Process P2 is holding R2 and waiting for R1. Okay, so this is the situation where the deadlock can occur and the deadlock may occur. Okay, so the process is holding one resource and waiting for another resources which is being held by any other process. Okay, तो P1 ने तो एक तो होल्ड करके रखा है R1 को, R1 किसको चाहिए, P2 को चाहिए, और P2 क्या कर रहा है, उसके लिए वेट कर रहा है. ठीक है, सो सम काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशन जो ऐसी होती है उसको हम लोग डेडलॉक सिचुएशन बोलते हैं. ओके, the third condition, we are just learning the condition that is necessary and sufficient condition for deadlock to occur. So this is the third condition, that is no preemption. Okay, so this is the situation and this is the condition where no resource can be forcibly removed from a process holding it. Okay, so we cannot forcibly remove any resource from any process. Okay, so no resource can be forcibly removed. Okay, forcibly removed from a process holding alt. Okay, so in no preemption means no removal. Okay, so we cannot remove any resource from any process. Okay, so if for example if any process that is p1 is holding a resource r1, okay, so this is the condition that we cannot forcibly remove that particular resource from this process p1. Okay, so this is the condition. If this condition is true, if this condition happens, then deadlock can occur. Okay, now we'll learn the last condition, the last necessary and sufficient condition, that is circular wait. Okay, circular wait. Circular wait is the last condition. So this is the condition. The above three conditions what we have learned are necessary but not sufficient for a deadlock to exist. Okay, for a deadlock to actually take place, the fourth condition is required, and the fourth condition is circular wait. This is the fourth condition, which is very must condition. Okay, circular wait is the condition where a set of processes are waiting for each other in a circular way, where set of processes are waiting for each other in circular way, in circular